My grandpa raised his glass and smiled at me across the table. "My girl," he said warmly, "I am so glad you love that condo I got you." The table went still. My mom's hand stopped moving. My dad reached for his water. I set down my glass very slowly. Then I looked at my grandpa and said the quietest 7 words of my life. I have been living in a basement. For 4 years, I worked 2 jobs. I ate dinner sitting on the floor. I told myself I just had not worked hard enough yet. The whole time, there was money with my name on it. Someone close to me decided to keep it. If you have ever given everything and watched someone treat it like it meant nothing, you already know how this feels. Subscribe. This story has one of the most satisfying endings I have ever told. I do not want you to miss it. My name is Renata. I am a ceramic tile muralist based in Tucson, Arizona. I take residential commissions, kitchens, entryways, small bathroom walls. I work with color and texture and pattern. I have always loved the way tile can make a small space feel intentional. Every morning before I leave, I water a small cactus on my windowsill. It has not grown in 2 years. I water it anyway. That October, Tucson had finally cooled down, the kind of cool that makes everyone pretend the summer never happened. My family had brunch that Sunday at a terracotta-walled place on the north side. String lights, cloth napkins, the kind of restaurant we go to when everyone wants to feel like things are fine. I had not been sleeping well that week. Work was slow. My back hurt from a job I finished on my knees for 3 days straight. But I came. I always came. My dad sat at the head of the table like he always did. Easy smile, linen shirt, the version of himself he saved for places where people could see him. My grandpa was across from me. He is in his mid-70s, sharp eyes, quiet most of the time. The kind of man who says very little and means all of it. That was the setup. A table full of people who had known me my whole life. What nobody in that room knew was this. 4 years earlier, my grandpa had wired $70,000 to my father. The money was meant to be a graduation gift for me, a down payment, a start. My dad told him it had been a surprise. He said I loved it. He said I was thriving. For 4 years, my grandpa believed his daughter was settled, safe, building something. For 4 years, my dad let him believe that. What nobody in that room knew was that 5 days after that wire hit my dad's account, every cent of it moved into a separate investment account, under his name only, no note, no mention of me anywhere. I did not know any of this yet. What I did know was the 4 years that followed. I graduated and asked my dad once for a job lead, one time. His exact words were, "Try flipping burgers first, builds character." I found a basement room on the east side of Tucson. The landlord did not believe in banks, so rent was cash only. The walls smelled like something old and damp. The water heater was next to my bed, and it kicked on at 3 in the morning every night. Christmas Eve of my 2nd year there, my landlord slid a late notice under my door. I was 2 days behind. I called my dad that night. He did not pick up. I took a tile job the next morning for below my usual rate because I needed the work. I came home with grout under my fingernails and $60 in my account. My dad called me the following week, not to ask how I was doing. He called to tell me I seemed too comfortable being broke, that I lacked ambition, that some people just do not have what it takes. I did not argue. I just wrote down the date and the words in a notebook I kept in my bag. I kept showing up to brunch. I sat near the end of the table, by the ice bucket, and I smiled when I was supposed to smile. Then came that Sunday in October. Grandpa raised his glass. He smiled at me. He said he was so glad I loved the condo. My mom's mouth opened. My dad's fork hit the plate. I set down my glass. My hands were steady. I said, "I live in a basement." I need to pause here. Has anyone ever treated your work like it was invisible? Like what you built did not count because it did not look the way they expected? Tell me in the comments. I walked out before my voice could do anything I did not want it to do. The parking lot was bright. The desert sun in October still has weight to it. Grandpa came out behind me. He looked older than he had 15 minutes ago. He asked the question quietly. I told him everything: the mold smell, the water heater, the landlord, the Christmas Eve notice, the tile samples I kept stacked in the corner because I had nowhere else to put them. I told him my dad said, "Struggle builds discipline." Grandpa did not say anything for a long moment. That night, he came with me to the east side. He walked down the crumbling steps. The bulb overhead flickered when I unlocked the door. He stepped inside. He looked at the second-hand couch, the stained ceiling tiles, the mattress pushed against the laundry machine, the stack of tile samples in the corner. He sat on the edge of my bed. He went very quiet. I told him the number: $70,000, gone in under a week. He stood up slowly. His voice was flat and even. He said, "We go to the bank in the morning." Sunday, I woke up to him already on the phone. I stood in the hallway in bare feet on cold concrete. His tone was something I had never heard from him before, cold and exact. He told his attorney he did not care what day it was. He wanted every transfer traced. He wanted my father removed from every financial document connected to his name. They had no idea what was coming. Monday morning, a bank office with no windows and one wide monitor. A woman in her 50s pulled up the records, reading glasses, very precise. She found the original wire, labeled clearly, a gift for Renata's home purchase. Then she clicked again. 5 days later, he said that was a lie. He said my father had taken it, had moved it, had let his daughter work 2 jobs and sleep next to a water heater while he told everyone she was doing fine. My aunt's breath caught. My cousin blinked hard. My dad sat very still. Grandpa reached into his jacket and set a folded letter on the table in front of my dad. He told him to read it aloud. My dad's hands shook as he unfolded it. He read it. No expression in his voice, just the words coming out one at a time. He said he had taken money meant for his daughter. He said he had lied about it. He said he would repay the full amount within 6 months. When he finished, nobody spoke. No one moved to comfort him. No one changed the subject. Just the slow turn of the ceiling fans above us. I looked at my father across that table. I did not feel victorious. I felt the specific quiet of something finally being true out loud. The new apartment had wide windows, real light in the morning. I watered my cactus on the first day I moved in. I found the folder I had buried under invoices and supply orders, tile sketches, color studies, layouts I had stopped letting myself look at. Weeks later, a nonprofit housing developer called. They were building an affordable complex in South Tucson. They needed someone who understood small spaces, someone who knew how to make them feel like home. I told them, I have lived that. I got the contract. Months after that, I hosted brunch at my own table. Grandpa brought a small plant and set it next to my cactus. My cousin asked about the tile work framed on my wall. My dad was not there. The money came back in 2 installments, no call with either one. That was fine. Here is what I want you to take from this. The years I spent feeling like I was not enough, that was not the truth about me. That was the story someone told because it was easier than being honest. You were not too much. You were not too little. You were just in the wrong room. Tell me something. If this had been you, would you have done the same thing? Or would you have given them one more chance? Drop it in the comments. And if you know someone who needs to hear this story right now, send it to them. They will know why. If this story gave you that feeling, that specific satisfaction of watching the truth finally land, subscribe, because I have more. Stories about people who were written off and counted out, who then made sure that was the last mistake anyone made. See you in the next one.